Will Russia launch nukes against Ukraine? Harvard nuclear expert Matthew Bunn reveals the answer. Russia has stationed short-range nuclear weapons in its westernmost regions bordering Ukraine, thus raising fears of a possible military conflict. As tensions between the two countries continue to rise, experts are warning that Moscow could escalate the situation by using tactical nuclear weapons. In an interview with Business Insider, Matthew Bunn, a Harvard professor of public policy and co-director of the Harvard Nuclear Security Initiative, revealed some answers concerning Russia's alleged atomic arsenal and its use against Ukraine. The Western media has been reporting on Russia's increasing military strength for some time now. Last year, NATO said that it had detected 22 times more activity by Russian troops along NATO borders than it did in previous years. The alliance also noted that there were 26 times more drills compared to the previous year as well. This is believed to be part of Vladimir Putin's military modernization program known as a perestroika. Russia's nuclear arsenal. There are over 3,000 nuclear weapons in the world. In Russia, there are thought to be as many as 1,800. The exact number is unknown, as the country is not signed up to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which governs the rest of the world. Russia's most recent nuclear exercise took place in February when an unspecified number of warheads were loaded onto the country's SLBM submarines. While the country is not thought to have a tactical nuclear weapon (TNW) arsenal, it does have a large number of strategic nuclear warheads that are designed for use in a first-use scenario. According to Bunn, the U.S. and its NATO allies should be concerned about Russia's ability to conduct a nuclear first strike if it chooses to do so. Russia, have a lot of nuclear weapons and they have an ability to use any of those nuclear weapons, including the ones that are stored in the silos or the submarines, or the bombers, or the missiles. Backup, not a first-use option. When asked if Russia has a backup capability to launch nuclear weapons, Bunn explained that it doesn't, but it does have a second-use capability. The second use would be to retaliate, to use them, nuclear weapons, to retaliate for an attack, and that's something that the Russian strategic forces have done many times in the past. Unlike a first-use capability where it is very clear as to why a country would use its nuclear weapons, a retaliation option is much more ambiguous. For example, if you have a conventional war going on and the Russians start to lose in Ukraine, the first question that people ask is, what about the nuclear weapons? And the Russians say, oh no, our nuclear weapons are not under threat. Assessing the risk of escalation, Russia has warned that it could open fire on any country that supports Ukrainian efforts to establish closer ties with the European Union. Russia has also stated that if the US and NATO continue to increase their military presence in Eastern Europe, they are ready to respond to any aggression. The risk of escalation is real. Bunn says that the situation between Russia and Ukraine is not directly comparable to the US and China. Besides, the Russian government claims that it has no intention of waging war against Ukraine. I think the nuclear scenario is kind of extreme. However, Bunn admits that the military buildup along Russia's border with NATO is a cause for concern. To me, the biggest risk is that NATO and Russia are going to have hot wars in Europe and somebody's going to use nuclear weapons in Europe. The military has two types of tactical nukes, Storm and Bezrezhnaya. According to Bunn, Russia uses tactical nuclear weapons, TNWs, like the 9M317 Storm, also known as the short-range nuclear missile, and the 9A-52 Bezrezhnaya heavy artillery. The 9M317 Storm is a short-range, battlefield nuclear missile system that can be launched from mobile platforms such as an armored vehicle or a railroad car. The 9A-52 Bezrezhnaya is an artillery system that can launch a nuclear weapon. The 9M317 Storm is thought to be able to deliver a nuclear warhead weighing around 100 kilos. The 9A-52 Bezrezhnaya, on the other hand, is a heavy artillery system that can be mounted on a truck, a military train, aircraft, or a ship. Conclusion: Russian military officials have confirmed that tactical nuclear weapons have been deployed to western regions bordering Ukraine. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the Iskander-M tactical nuclear missiles stationed near the Ukrainian border are ready to be used as a response to any aggression. Iskander-M was previously stationed in Kaliningrad, a Russian territory that borders Poland and Lithuania and has now been deployed to the west. The US has stated that Russia has sent nuclear-capable missiles to the border with Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry has categorically denied this claim, stating that only conventional weaponry has been sent to the Ukrainian border. At the same time, the U.S. has not confirmed reports of Iskander-M deployment near the Ukrainian border. The only information about this weapon comes from Russian officials, who say only that the Iskander-M is currently deployed in western regions of the country. In any case, this situation poses a grave threat to global security and stability. It seems that the risk of a military clash between Russia and the West has increased significantly in recent months. There are indications that Russia is moving closer towards a military conflict with Ukraine, the US and NATO. In fact, Russia's ambassador to NATO has called on the alliance to send troops to the alliance's eastern borders. If the conflict with Ukraine escalates, Russia could use tactical nuclear weapons against Ukrainian troops.